Alright guys, all my parts came in today. Got the oil pan and pickup tube on. Got the motor mounts on. Let's put the engine in the car. Alright, now let's actually put the engine in the car. Alright y'all, engine's in the car. Kinda looks like a cute little thing in this big old engine bay. Next we'll get it up on the hoist and put the transmission on the motor. Actually, we'll have to measure out and cut the hole in the floor. Then put the transmission on, then we can do a little bit of fun stuff. Build a transmission cross member and start getting things buttoned up in the engine bay. Alright, car's up on the hoist. First thing we gotta do is figure out where the hole in the floor is gonna go. Pretty simple. All we're gonna do is measure from the front of the bell housing. The center of that, about 13 1/4. And we'll take that measurement. And we'll just measure off of the mating surface on the back of the block, back to the floor of the car, and we'll find the center of the tunnel and probably cut about a 4-inch hole in the floor. Remember folks, always hire a lazy man to do a hard job because he'll find the easy way to do it. Alright guys, transmission is bolted to the engine. There's no clutch or anything in there yet. I gotta order all that yet. I gotta do a little more trimming on the floor. I gotta get it up a little bit higher. It's a little bit lower than I would like, but surprisingly fits a lot better than I thought. I'm not gonna have to cut as much floor out as I originally had thought, but it's coming along. Now that the transmission is in its home, we can build a transmission cross member, make it permanent. Alright, with a little bit of help from some CAD, I now have two nice little brackets that we can put right here in the factory mount location and use that to build the rest of the cross member off of. Alright y'all, here's the cross member all welded up. Not my best welds, not my worst welds. They should hold. I'll get some paint thrown on it and we'll see what it looks like in the car. Alright yo, there it is. Trans cross members all bolted in. Engine and transmission are officially bolted in under their own weight. Now next step is going to be swapping the rear end out, and then transmission has to come back out after I order the clutch and flywheel. I'll keep you updated. Alright y'all, I picked up some valve covers at a swap meet today for 30 bucks. They're kind of dingy and dirty, but I think it kind of matches the rest of the car, so them will work out alright. Transmission's in and mounted now. Now I can come back out again. I can get the clutch and the flywheel and the slave cylinder and make a master cylinder work. I think next we're going to work on the rear end. Alright, so I got a little bit done. I got the rear end out of the car. It's laying out there. Cut the saddles off of that, and I cut the saddles and shock mounts off to 8/8. Now I just need to do a Rocky style montage of me grinding the slag and leftover weld and everything off the axle, getting it cleaned up, and then we can get her put in the car. No, I'm just fucking with you. We don't have the production budget for that. I'll get back to you when I'm done grinding. Alright, I got all the old weld off the axles. Got it cleaned up where the leaf perches are going to go. Got the perches or saddles or whatever you want to call them cleaned up so I can weld them back on. Now we can throw it up in the car and set our pinion angle and get it centered up. Alright, for anybody that doesn't already know, allow me to expand your knowledge a little bit. So this rear end has got 410 gears in it, and it's really easy to check that to make sure you don't get screwed over by somebody telling you you have 410s or 430s or whatever. All that number means is that this right here, the pinion input, needs to spin 4.10 times to turn the wheel 1 time. So you put a mark on your input, line it up with something constant. I put a little mark on this edge here. And you go out on your wheel side, same thing, put a mark on it. I lined it up with this edge here, and then all you gotta do is spin that around one time and count how many times that goes around. Or vice versa, how many times it takes this to make this go around once. So we spin it. I get on the mark here. We spin once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. You see how we're not quite there yet? Oh. See how we're not quite there yet? And we're on 0 here. Now we gotta go 0.10 more to make that line back up again. And that's how you know you have 4.10 gears in your rear end. So now that the rear end's sitting up in the car, just kind of hanging in there, I got it sort of roughly centered. We gotta set pinion angle. So what you want to do for pinion angle is if you draw an imaginary center line going through the pinion of your rear end, like dead straight through the center of your pinion, and an imaginary center line through the output shaft of the transmission, you want those 2 lines to be parallel to each other, so they be equal and oppositing angles on either side, if that makes any sense. I'm sure there's somebody that can explain it a lot better than I can. But basically, what you want to do is you want to level the car once that quits dancing around. Car's leveled. Then you go on the tail shaft. Make sure that's straight. And we got about 6 degrees. So then you come over here to your rear end, and we're about 6 degrees. And that'll make sure that you don't have goofy binding and weird U-joint issues. I'm no expert. Do what I do at your own risk. Like I said, there's probably somebody a lot smarter than me that can explain it a lot better, but that's how I do things, and I haven't had one explode yet, so yeah. I'll keep trucking along and keep you updated. Hey Bam Bam, stop for a second. We got the purchase welded on. Buddy Wyatt stopped over and he wouldn't let me just throw it in the car, so he's polishing it up right now to get ready for paint. Alright, there it is, all painted up. I just slam her in the car and make a drive shaft. Side note, if you're ever doing an axle swap on one of these old cars and you need U-bolts, go to your local hardware store in the trailer section. Most of the time they'll have ones there that are damn near the same thing. Alright, rear end's installed in the car. I just need to either find or make a drive shaft, and the drivetrain will be more or less complete. But I think that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do whatever you want. Thanks.